You, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you escape.
In the spirit of the Christmas season and its magic effect on all men, Escape brings you a charming fantasy about a small boy who discovered a delightful new world and lived forever after in its enchantment. As Anthony Ellis tells it in The Cave.
It's on days like this that I remember how it used to be before I found the cave. This day in particular. Of course, it's hard to see everything as it really was. Time has a habit of distorting the memories. Memories. Christmas. Christmas Day. Oh, what a long time ago that was. I was 10. And an unpopular uncle had distinguished himself by giving me a flashlight. And it was enormous. 4 batteries and a most incredible gleam to its metal case. I couldn't wait to try it out. And because it was still early afternoon, I could think of only one place that was dark enough for the exciting test. The cave. The big cave whose mouth was near the sand dunes and whose recess was rumored to be miles deep. George Fennell and I had never ventured more than 200 yards or so inside, but on that Christmas afternoon I knew that the cold darkness of the cave would have no fears for George and me. We met near the dunes as arranged to compare notes on our respective Christmas presents. It was quite warm, and the snow was beginning to melt in patches. A few gulls were wheeling about nearby. It was as I have remembered it all my life.
That's keen. Listen, I bet it'd work like a searchlight tonight.
I guess it would, all right.
Maybe they'll let us stay up tonight. If it doesn't get cold, we could play pirate. I used my new gun.
I thought we might go in the cave this afternoon.
Hey, that's keen. Oh, maybe they'll get sore. I had to get all dressed up today.
Don't get dirty. Besides, we could go a real long way inside with this.
I wouldn't want to go in too far. They say the cave goes off in a lot of tunnels. You can get lost.
Maybe. If you haven't got a flashlight.
Sure, that's right. And with my gun, sure, we can explore. Come on, I'll race you to the cave.
I won the race, and we stood at the entrance of the big cave. The arch had a span of about 25 feet, but just inside, it widened until the walls were 70 feet apart and the ceiling was over 50. As we passed from sunlight to shadow, I turned for a moment and looked down to the sea. At the water's edge, a gull stood, motionless, looking up at us, and then, solemnly, as though with disapproval, it too turned about and gazed out over the water. The opening of the cave receded and became small, and we went deeper and deeper.
Shine it up there, Dan. Way up.
Okay.
Gee, I bet that's high.
A mile, I guess.
You're dilly, a mile. Maybe 100 feet. Psst. Bang, bang. Boy, that's keen. Just like a real gun.
Come on, let's look. Let's look the cave down here. It looks like a turn, see?
Well, okay, but we better not go too far.
What's the matter, you scared?
Heck no, but... Well, I gotta get back for dinner. They'll get awful sore if I'm late.
Oh, you won't be late. Come on. I want to see what's around here.
Okay. Hold the light on my gun. I gotta reload. Fish. Who ever heard of fish in a stream like this? Where'd they come from, huh? Where?
I don't know. They say there are fish in caves sometimes. Blind fish.
That's Dilly.
What are you stopping for?
We gotta go back now.
Why?
Because it's late. Besides, how do you know which tunnel we took? How? Maybe we could get lost.
Listen. Maybe if we keep on going, we'll find treasure in here.
Treasure?
Sure stands to reason. Maybe like in the pirate book. Somebody came here and buried treasure. Henry Morgan or somebody.
No.
Sure stands to reason. Everybody's like you. They say no, but just suppose. If no one's looked, how'd they know?
I think we better get back. Maybe tomorrow we can look. Cave's getting awful narrow.
We might even find old pirate bones and swords.
You got too much imagination. I heard them saying so at home. I don't want to go any farther.
I'm going to.
Okay. Give me the flashlight.
No. You want to go back? You go back in the dark.
They'll be mad. It's late.
Just for a little while. If we don't find anything, well, then we'll go back.
All right. But only a little while.
I'm thirsty.
You better not drink out of that water. It's probably poison.
Why? Hold the light. I'm going to have a drink.
There you are. See, I told you. Now you'll probably die. It's poison.
So, it's like the ocean.
Hey, look.
What?
There, coming down the stream, that white thing.
Yeah,
Looks like a piece of paper.
I'm going to get it. Hold on to my hand.
You'll fall in.
Oh, I won't. Got it.
What is it?
I don't know. It looks like a handkerchief.
That's Dilly. It's too small. Who'd use a handkerchief like that?
My mother does.
Gee, I'd hate to blow my nose on that. You can almost see through it.
How'd it get down here?
Who cares?
Maybe it's a message.
Huh?
Like from someone in distress.
I'm going home.
Like a damsel in distress in the pirate book. Hey, we gotta find out. Give me my flashlight. We'll follow the stream.
We followed the stream. We walked by it as the cave twisted and curved. We didn't notice the passageway, which had been getting smaller all the time, suddenly widen out, and the stream, which was becoming a river, and the river... The river!
Hey,
What?
where's the other side of the water?
There isn't any. It keeps going. It's like a lake.
Or maybe a sea. There's little waves.
Dan,
Huh?
turn the light around.
The walls are gone. There's no walls.
There's gotta be. It's a cave.
There's no top to it either.
It's just too high to see, that's all. Let's go home. Let's go home right now.
What are you afraid of?
I'm not, but I'm hungry and it's Christmas and... Well, I got things to play with. Come on, Dan. Come on, I want to get outside. What'd you do that for? Turn on the light. Turn it on.
Don't you notice something?
You turn that on. Give it to me.
Wait a minute. I want you to see something. I'll turn it
You
on.
give it to me. I'm not going to play with you anymore. You give it.
See what you've done?
It's all your fault. I didn't want to come in here anyway. How are we going to get back? It's dark.
No, it isn't. That's what I wanted you to see. Look up there.
I don't see anything.
You will.
Oh. It's like stars. Way, way up.
That's what it is. It's stars.
We stood there, George and I, 10 years old, and for a moment no longer afraid because of the wonder of the thing. There was light from a sky that I knew I'd never seen before. Yet I knew I was still in the big cave because when I spoke, the echo of my voice returned.
It's beautiful.
I can't find it. The water's too deep. Dan. Dan.
That's funny.
You're always saying that. It's not going to be funny when we can't get home.
Listen. Dan! Dan! You do it.
What for? It's just an old echo.
Go on.
George. George. Pow.
There. How can there be an echo when there's no cave anymore?
You're trying to scare me. Well, I'm going. You can come too if you want. Dan, please.
I'll bet nobody's ever been in here ever. I'll bet we're the first. Except for pirates, maybe. I wish we could see more.
If my mother hadn't taken away my matches, we could find our way out okay. Gollies, it's night. Come on, please. I'm hungry. Somebody's here. Somebody else.
Sounds like it's over there.
No, don't go, Dan. Dan, I'm scared. I don't like this place.
Go home if you want to. I can see someone. Look.
Gee.
He's digging in the sand.
Don't let's go any closer, Dan.
Let go of me. I want to see what he's doing.
No. Look.
Some other people. They got swords.
Got you, Namby, you scurvy wretch! Look on him, bullies!
No! Don't hit me, Captain! I just wanted to see if the treasure was still there. It's the truth, I did.
I'll show you what's there, you pot-bellied toad!
No! No, Captain! No! You're killing me! No, please, no! I wasn't touching the treasure! Don't hit me again! Don't kill me!
Kill you! I haven't started to kill you yet, Namby. Come on, bullies! Lie on! We'll exercise our appetites for the feast!
Escape under the direction of Norman MacDonald returns in just a moment. There's nothing quite as depressing as being hungry. Hunger is the hand which crushes the will to work. Hunger is the enemy of hope. And there are many, many hungry people today in the war-anguished lands of Europe and the Far East. You can restore that will to work. You can restore hope by combating hunger. And your weapon of combat is a care package. For $10, you can send a care package today. Keep sending them until those people can take care of themselves. And now, back to Escape.
In that faint light from the stars of another world, the world of the big cave, George and I watched. We could only see shadows until someone lit a lantern. And then I knew that I'd been right.
Pirates! Pirates!
I want to go home.
Pirates they were. The most glorious, the gaudiest pirates to sail under the Jolly Roger. The leader was a huge man with a fine, bushy beard and a voice like the trombone in the village band.
How shall we cook him, bullies? Broiled or steamed?
No! No, Captain, no! He's too tough a morsel for that, Captain. I say, roast him.
I shall. Roast it'll be.
Nothing like roast Namby, I always say.
We'll cut out his heart first and feed it to the dogs.
I feed him.
Namby, you lily-livered aggravation, say your prayer.
He's going to kill him. I don't want to watch him.
Shh.
Who was that?
I don't know, Captain.
Sounded like a boy.
A boy? A boy?
Mayhap 'twas the Lady Alicia.
Bilge. She's in the dungeon, Gunfallen.
Aye, that's true.
It came from over there. Hold the lantern eye, Shield.
They'll get us, Dan. We gotta run.
Don't be afraid. If you're not afraid, nothing can happen.
Do you see anything, Gunfallen?
You know it, but save us all. 'Tis a boy.
There's two of them.
Well, scupper me. Boy, huh? Oh, the little demon. That's it. Boys. Two small boys.
What'll we do with them, Captain?
Hang them, I say. Hang them. They're out of the treasure. You! Were it not Christmas, Namby, I should have turned you inside out. How'd you bliss a blethering jaw? Aye, Captain. Aye, aye. Boy, what's your name?
Dan Embry, sir.
On that one.
George.
She's my friend, George. George Fennel. His father's a policeman.
Where'd you come from, boy?
Greenfield? That's outside the cave.
Cave? What cave? What do you do here? Whose spies are you? Answer up!
Just exploring. We got here, that's all.
Exploring? Where's your ship?
We didn't come in a ship.
What, no ship?
They're boys, Captain. What harm can they do? Come, it's Christmas. I say feed 'em and send 'em on their way.
What's Christmas got to do with it? If they're spies, it's the plank for 'em.
We're not spies. Honest.
We'll look into this further. Meantime, the goose and suckling pig should be ready. I say it's time for the feast. How say you, bullies? Are you hungry, boy?
Yes, sir.
And him?
He's hungry, too.
Then join us, and Merry Christmas. For no man can say Captain Blackton lacks the Christian spirit. Am I right, Namby?
You're right, Captain. Right as rain.
I'd have slit your gullet had you said me nay. Merry Christmas. And break out the rum barrel.
I remember that day, that long ago, the great dining board set upon trestles, the fruits, the wine, roast goose, and pig, the pirates rough in their colorful patched clothing, the songs and the drinking and stories of home and sea. Such Christmases are dreamt of, and I had dreamed it to come true. George sat next to me, eyes wide and unbelieving. And after the plum pudding, we were called on to sing a carol. And as we sang, they became quiet, and each sat lost with his own thoughts of sweetness and sadness. The little man Namby, bird-like and asleep. Gonfalon, thin as a twig, a patch over one eye, and the other kindly and wise. Shill and the captain, with tears coursing down their cheeks. These were my pirates, my own.
Born is the King of Israel.
Well done. Well done, I say. A dollop of rum for the boys.
Captain, this be an happy day with us. Let's share with those less fortunate.
Less fortunate? Oh, we're all well met.
The Lady Alicia.
Nay, she is our prisoner. Until ransom is paid, so she will remain.
What matter if she grace our table for the evening? It has been long since a woman's been with us.
Very well. Send the prisoner here. Bring her from the dungeon.
Then I thought of the fine lace handkerchief we had found in the stream. Would this prisoner, the Lady Alicia, would she have sent the message of distress? And how? They brought her in. And to me, she looked as she should have looked, the most beautiful lady in the world, gowned in silks, with a pale but proud face. I fell in love with her, and I was 10. As the night wore on, the pirates grew drowsy, and one after another their heads drooped, and soon all were asleep. Even George, sitting small in his great chair, nodded. I went to the Lady Alicia's side.
It was your handkerchief we found in the stream, wasn't it?
Yes, I had not dared to hope.
But they have you locked in a dungeon.
Beyond my window is a running brook. I prayed that when I dropped the kerchief, it would by some happy chance be discovered.
I found it all right.
You are very brave to have come here.
How long have they kept you in prison?
6 months now. We were sailing to the Indies. Our ship was taken, and I alone survived. Now they hold me for ransom.
That's terrible. Gosh, I wish I could do something to save you.
There is nothing.
I know I'm not very big, but maybe I could fight them.
There are too many for you.
Dan, they're all asleep. Come on, we can get away now. Let's go home.
Home?
Sure, our folks are going to be mad.
George, we gotta save her.
If you could but escape and deliver a message to my father.
Sure, okay. Where does he live?
London, Lord Basingstoke. He will reward you well.
Sure, but we gotta go now.
I don't want to leave you. They'll be angry when they wake up.
My hope will rest in you. I shall pray for your safety and return.
Gee whiz, Dan. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll be right along.
Okay, but hurry up. I'll wait by the water.
Will you be all right?
Yes.
Suppose I come back and you're not here.
I shall try to leave a message.
I'm Dan.
I know.
When I get older, I'll marry you. You're beautiful.
I'll wait for you. You must go before they're awake.
I don't want to go.
You will come back to me. Here.
I love you.
Hurry up, Dan. Gee whiz, I want to get home. They'll be mad. Mother said not to be late for dinner.
We gotta save Lady Alicia. Don't forget.
Okay, but hurry up. It's dark. Do you know which way to go?
I know.
I don't want to fall in the stream and get all wet. I got my good clothes on.
You won't.
I'm sorry I dropped your flashlight, Ian. I'll save up, get you another.
I don't mind.
I bet it's awful late. I'm glad it's Christmas. Maybe they won't mind.
We followed the tunnels one to the other. The stream flowed with us, urging us on. It was dark, but I knew the way. We felt along the damp walls of the cave, and at every step we moved further away from my world. And suddenly, from a great distance, we saw a tiny circle of light, a dot which grew and grew until it was the size of a gold sovereign.
There it is, Dan. It's the entrance. And it's still light out. I won't be late for dinner.
And I was afraid. I was afraid because I knew that if I stepped out into that sunlight, I should never be able to find my way back again. Never.
Hey, what are you stopping for? Why?
George,
If we run, we can be home before the sun goes down. For Pete's sake, Dan, what's the matter with you?
I'm not coming with you.
Oh, gee, what's the...
I gotta go back.
Go back? What do you want to do that for?
I got to. I don't want to leave her. The pirates. I want to go back.
Pirates? Who?
The Lady Alicia.
Gee whiz, Dan. Come on, it was only a game. Come on.
You've forgotten. I knew you would. I'm not going with you.
You better. I'm going to tell your mother. You'll get it.
Goodbye, George.
Dan? Dan! Come back. Dan, what's the matter with you? Dan? You'll get lost. Dan? Dan! Don't go in there again. We played long enough. Come back. Come back. Dan? Dan? Dan?
I turned away from George and the speck of light that was outside. His voice followed me, plaintive and lonely. And then as I found the stream again, there was no sound but that of gentle water and my own steps. And the stream became a river, and the river broadened, and the walls of the cave fell away, and I'd found my pirates again. It's on days like this that I remember how it used to be before I found the cave. This day in particular. Sometimes I wonder what happened to George and what it's like outside the cave, but I don't really mind. After all, the Lady Alicia kept her promise and waited for me until I grew up. Now, everything is as I'd always dreamed it in the books. Oh, Captain Blackton, well, he's still here. A little less ferocious, perhaps, than 20 years ago.
Captain?
Yes, Blackton.
If you and milady are ready, sir, the turkeys are cooked, and the men are waiting your pleasure.
Very well, Blackton. Thank you. And a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you, sir. And a Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you The Cave by Anthony Ellis. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Georgia Ellis, Peggy Weber, Jay Novello, Charlie Lung, Lou Krugman, Wilms Herbert, and Eileen Erskine. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Ivan Ditmars.
Next week, escape with us to a placid English village and the company of an equally placid little old man who one day shook the world, as H.G. Wells told it in his delightful story, The Man Who Could Work Miracles.
Where does the world stand? Where's it heading as 1951 approaches? Next Sunday, CBS will bring you an exciting, timely appraisal of the world situation and some of the answers when 10 top CBS News correspondents are heard in a special broadcast entitled The Challenge of the 50s, Years of Crises. Remember, that's next Sunday afternoon on most of these same CBS stations. Now, stay tuned for Make Believe Town, which follows immediately on most of these same CBS stations. Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where you spend an hour with Frank Sinatra every Sunday afternoon on the Columbia Broadcasting System.
So the boy fell asleep in the Toys R Us store, and he woke up with toys from the ceiling to the floor. We've got the Nintendo action set, including the control deck with double game pack and Zapper light gun for just $99.99 at Toys R Us. And we have all the hottest game cartridges at great everyday low prices. Love growing up with my Toys R Us kid. Toys R Us. You'll never outgrow us.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
You just said the magic words, now look what you did. And look how shopping at Toys R Us computes into big savings. The world's best-selling computer, the new Commodore 64C, comes with GIOS software, 1541 disk drive, a Smart Buy 2.
Swell!
For a higher intelligence, the powerful Commodore 128 with number keypad and more. Also speedy 1571 disk drive. Computing costs less at Toys R Us.
It's the world's biggest toy store. Let's go!
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents The Mysterious Traveler, written, produced, and directed by Robert A. Arthur and David Coben, and starring two of radio's foremost personalities, Lennon and in Christmas Story. This is The Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can, as we hear the tale of an enterprising young man. It's the drama I call Christmas Story.
The name is Steve Farrell, and I've just gotten through playing Santa Claus. Yeah, you're looking at a guy who really played it to the hilt. It all started last month in Seattle. I was out of a job and down to my last few bucks. I was looking through the morning paper when I noticed this small ad in the personal column. Driving to New York, November 15th. Man wanted to assist in driving. Free transportation. Paul Harris, Hotel Royal. Well, I'd always wanted to see New York, and this was as good as any way of getting there, so I went up to this Hotel Royal to see this guy, Harris. Mr. Harris?
Yes?
My name's Farrell, Steve Farrell. I read your ad in the morning paper.
Oh, yes. Won't you come in?
Thank you. If you haven't already found someone to help you drive to New York, I'd like to offer my services.
Well, as a matter of fact, I haven't. Can you leave for New York a day after tomorrow?
Sure, anytime.
Well, good. Then why not come around at 9 in the morning and we'll get off to an early start?
Okay, Mr. Harris, 9 it is. Let me know when you're tired driving, Mr. Harris, and I'll take over.
Thanks, I will. Why not call me Paul? Huh?
Okay. Steve is my first name. Lewiston, 30 miles.
Lewiston, that's Idaho, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just crossing the state line into Idaho.
Oh, this is all new to me. I was born and raised in Alaska. This is my first trip to the States.
Well, you're going to see a lot of scenery between here and New York.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Life must have been pretty rugged in Alaska.
Oh, it was. My parents were homesteaders. I never saw a city until a week ago when I arrived in Seattle.
How come you're going to New York?
Well, my parents died last year, and my grandfather, whom I've never seen, wrote asking me to come visit him.
You never seen him, huh?
No. No, there was some sort of squabble between my parents and my grandfather before I was born, and they went to Alaska. And in all the years since then, my grandfather never wrote to them.
Sounds like a stubborn guy.
Yeah, he sure does. What are you going to New York for?
No, mainly to look for a job. And I've always wanted to see the big city.
So have I. Do you mind taking over now, Steve? My eyes are getting tired.
Be glad to. Just pull over to the side of the road. It's a long way from Seattle to New York. There wasn't a radio in the car, so we just talked. And mostly we talked about Paul, his life in Alaska, his parents, his grandfather. By the time we hit Columbus, Ohio, there wasn't a thing I didn't know about the guy. And from what he told me, his grandfather was loaded. And even more, he was the old man's only relative. It was obvious the kid was walking into a fortune. Yeah, some guys had all the luck.
So these are the Allegheny Mountains.
Yeah. You better take it easy, Paul. The road's a little slippery.
Okay. How much further to New York?
250 miles. It's getting dark. You better stop for the night at the next tourist court.
All right. Oh, we should be able to make New York by tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, easy. Your eyes bothering you?
Yeah, a little.
You better let me take over when you get to the bottom of this mountain.
Okay.
You know, you ought to see an eye doctor. Your eyes seem to get tired awful quick.
Well, the truth of the matter
Hey,
is...
look out, kid. We're starting to skid. No, don't jam on the brakes. That only makes it worse. Reverse your wheel.
I have. See, we're skidding off the road toward the mountain.
Give me that wheel and do as I say.
We're out of control. We're going over.
When I regained consciousness, I was lying a few feet from the car. We drove 300 feet down the side of the mountain, and the car was completely wrecked. I crawled to my feet and felt for broken bones. Other than a bad gash on my head and a mass of bruises, I was okay. I limped the few feet to the overturned car and looked in. Paul was still behind the wheel. Even before I reached for his pulse, I had a feeling he was dead. Paul's luck had run out. He'd never see all that dough that was waiting for him in New York. Yeah, it was then that it came to me. I hadn't wished the guy dead, but now that he was, and nobody in the States knew Paul or what he looked like, and on the other hand, I knew everything about him. Well, it was a gamble, all right, but there was a fortune in the kitty. I went to work switching our clothes and all identification. Just as I finished, a state police patrol car came along the mountain road and spotted the wreck. They took me to headquarters, where I made a complete statement. A couple of hours later, I grabbed a train for New York.
Paul, I'm George Marlowe, your grandfather's attorney.
How do you do, Mr. Marlowe?
The Pennsylvania State Police informed me of the dreadful accident you had. I understand a man was with you was killed.
Yes, a fellow by the name of Steve Farrell. I met him in Seattle. He assisted me with the driving.
Too bad, but thank heavens it wasn't you. It would have been your grandfather's death blow.
How is he?
Weak, very weak, but eagerly waiting to see you. All right, come along.
Yes, sir.
How's that gash on your head?
Oh, not too bad. It was treated by a doctor at the state police headquarters.
You can only spend a few minutes with your grandfather, and excitement must be avoided by all means.
I understand.
And here we are. How is he, Joan?
He's much better this afternoon.
Good. Joan, this is Paul Harris. Paul Joan Dietrich, your grandfather's nurse.
How do you do?
Hello.
Paul. Is that you, Paul?
Yes, sir.
Come over here, where I can see you.
Yes, grandfather.
So, you're Paul, my grandson.
Yes, sir.
Sit down by my bed and let me look at you.
All right, grandfather.
You don't look like your mother. Must take after your father's side of the family.
Yes, I do.
That bandage. What happened, Paul?
Well, I was in an accident, but it's nothing, just a scratch.
Yeah, you're sure?
Yes, of course.
I suppose you're wondering why I sent for you after all these years. Cutting off your mother, father.
Does it matter now? The main thing is... I'm here.
You know, lying here for months, I've had a great deal of time to think things over. I was wrong, Paul. Your mother, she had a perfect right to marry anyone she wished. It was only my stubbornness that prevented the reconciliation.
We all make mistakes.
Yes, but 30 years of not seeing my own flesh and blood. It's been lonely, Paul. So lonely. And all my fault.
But you're not alone anymore. I'm here.
Yes, Paul, yes. What little time I have left, we must spend together.
I think that's enough for now, Mr. Marshall. Paul can come and see you later, after your nap.
Just a few more minutes, John.
After your nap.
Oh, she's a wonderful girl, Paul, as soon as I'm awake.
All right, Grandfather.
Now, let me fix your pillows for you.
Just your being here seems to have helped him, Paul.
What do the doctors say, Mr. Marlowe?
Week, month, several months at the outside.
That bad, huh?
Yes. Well, you must be tired after your trip. I had your suitcase taken to your room. Do you have any other luggage on the way?
There's a small trunk coming, but it won't be here for weeks.
If you need any money, just let me know. Your grandfather's placed a considerable sum at your disposal.
Thanks. But I still have 2,000 left of the 5,000 you sent me.
Very well, Paul. Never, if there's anything at all you want, just let me know.
Yeah, I was in. There was no question that I'd passed as Paul Harris. And why not? I had all the answers, and I was playing it careful. I walked through room after room of that Fifth Avenue mansion, knowing that within a matter of months it would be mine. In the weeks that followed, not a day passed, and I didn't spend a few hours with the old man. He liked me, I could see that. And the funny thing is, I liked him, too. During our little chat, there were times I felt I was his grandson. And sitting in at these little sessions, not saying much, just watching with those gray eyes of hers was Joan Dietrich. She was one lovely dish. And I could feel things building between us. Whenever she got an evening off, we went out together. Having a good time?
Wonderful. I love dancing. Why, Mr. Harris, what are we doing out here on the terrace? The music's in there.
Too many people in there. You know, if you don't make a pass at me soon, I'm going to get discouraged.
Ours is a short acquaintance. 3 weeks.
What's the time got to do with it? The day I walked into my grandfather's room, first saw you, you knew this moment was coming. I feel the same way, baby. So I was flying. Love me?
You know I do.
And why the tears?
Oh, I do love you. And I want to believe in you, but I'm so confused. So confused.
About what? Go on. I want to hear.
Are you really Paul Harris?
What makes you ask that?
In your talks with Mr. Marshall, several things you said seemed strange.
Such as?
Well, your grandfather spoke of a restaurant in San Francisco, and you said you knew it. Yet if you are Paul Harris, how could you not? Paul Harris has never been to San Francisco.
I might have taken in San Francisco on the way to New York, you know. What else bothers you?
You mentioned a television show you'd seen 6 months ago. There is no television in Alaska. If you're Paul Harris, how could you have seen it?
People up in Alaska see kinescopes of television shows, baby. They're shown like movies.
Oh, darling, just tell me I'm wrong. That's all I want to hear.
I wish I could tell you I'm Paul Harris. But I'm not.
You're not?
No. The name is Farrell. Steve Farrell.
Steve Farrell. Wasn't that the fellow that was killed in that... It was Paul Harris who was killed. You changed identity.
Yes.
Oh, how could you? How could you?
I was tired of being broke, of going from one lousy job to another. I saw a chance to grab a fortune and took it. What are you going to do?
I should go to the police. I can't. Mr. Marshall thinks you're his grandson. He's extremely fond of you. If the truth were to come out, it'd kill him.
Is that the only reason you can't go to the police?
Oh, Steve, what are we going to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's right. I'm going on being Paul Harris until the old man dies. Then I'm taking the estate.
You can't, Steve. You can't.
Why not? While the old man's alive, I'm making him happy. If I get his estate when he dies, who loses by it? It isn't as though he has other relatives. Why shouldn't I get it?
Oh, it's wrong, Steve. It's wrong.
It's wrong only if you're caught, baby. Only if you're caught. Hello, baby. What you doing up here on the roof?
Just getting a little fresh air while Mr. Marshall sleeps.
How is he?
He can't last more than a few days.
Who are you crying for? The old man? Or me?
Both of you. Oh, Steve, ever since the other night when you told me, I haven't been able to think of anything else. It's wrong, Steve. It's so wrong.
Who am I hurting if I get the estate? I deserve it if anyone does. At least I'm making the old man happy in his last hour.
What is your cause? Do you realize they'd send you to prison?
That's the chances you take, baby. Besides, who's going to get wise to me?
There's Mr. Marlowe, and he's nobody's fool. Just one little slip, Steve, and he'll be on to you.
Marlowe's a sharp citizen, all right, but I don't intend to make that one slip. Oh.
Someone's coming up onto the roof.
Hello, you two. Thought I'd find you up here.
Hello.
How are you, Mr. Marlowe?
Quite well, thank you. I understand Mr. Marshall's asleep.
Yes, I left Mrs. Walker to look after him. He should be waking up soon.
Maybe we better go down. My grandfather had... Oh!
What's the matter?
Something in your eye, Paul?
Yes, it's a cinder.
Oh, left eye, huh?
Yes.
Well, stop rubbing it. Put your handkerchief over it.
Hmm.
That's it.
Stings like the devil.
Go on over and sit on the chair. And I'll try to take it out for you.
You want me to assist you to the chair?
No, I can still walk.
Now sit down and tilt your head back.
Hmm.
That's it. Take the handkerchief away. Oh, I see it. Hold still. There. I got it.
Thanks, John.
I think we'd better go down now.
Yeah, okay.
You coming, Mr. Marlowe?
What? Oh, yes. I'm coming.
Mrs. Walker said that Mr. Marshall was asleep and she looked in on him a few minutes ago.
Seems he's still sleeping.
Perhaps we'd better leave and wait until he wakes.
No. I'm going to wake him. It's time for his medicine. Mr. Marshall? Mr. Marshall? Time for your medicine. Mr. Marshall?
What is it, Joan?
There's no pulse.
Are you sure?
Yes. He's dead.
Well, at least the end came peacefully. He died in his sleep.
Joan took the old man's death hard, and I felt pretty upset myself, even with all that dough waiting. As for Marlowe, he was his usual efficient self, looking after all the details of the funeral. Maybe it was the tension I was under, but Marlowe seemed changed. He wasn't quite so friendly. And sometimes I turned to find him watching me, giving me the cold eye. I couldn't be sure whether it was my imagination or not. After we got back from the funeral, I was in my room when there was a knock on the door. Come in. Oh, hello, Joan. Come in.
Mr. Marlowe's downstairs in the library. Wants to see you.
Close the door.
Anything wrong?
Plenty.
Whose trunk is that you're going through?
Paul's. It arrived this morning while we were at the funeral.
Steve, what's wrong?
I've just been going through some of Paul's personal papers. I knew, of course, that he was 4F in the draft, but I never knew why.
What are you trying to tell me?
Paul was 4F in the draft because he was blind in the right eye.
Blind in the right eye?
Yes. That's why I've been getting the cold shoulder from Marlowe these past 3 days, ever since the afternoon we were on the roof.
I don't understand.
Somehow Marlowe knew that Paul was blind in the right eye, and when I got that cinder in my left eye, I covered it with my handkerchief. You told me to walk across the roof to the chair, sit down.
Oh, yes, I remember.
At that point, Marlowe offered to lead me to the chair.
Knowing you were blind in the right eye and had your left eye covered with a handkerchief.
Yes. When I walked over to the chair without hesitation, that must have started him thinking.
Oh, Steve.
Now, don't get panicky, baby. Marlowe can't be sure he's right. At the moment, he's just suspicious.
But if he really investigates...
I've got to kill the suspicion in his mind. Stop him from doing any checking.
But how?
I don't know yet. Now, come on, he's waiting for us in the library. Sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Marlowe.
Quite all right.
If you'll excuse me, I'll go...
Joan, don't go. No reason why you shouldn't hear what I have to say. Tomorrow, Christmas Day, I'll officially read Mr. Marshall's will. However, I don't think I'm violating a trust in telling you the contents of the will. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Marshall had me draw up a new will, leaving his entire estate to you, Paul.
I see.
He was quite taken by you, felt that you were a credit to his name. Why are you crying, Joan?
Nothing.
As administrator of Mr. Marshall's will, it is my duty to see to it that the heirs, or heir, receive their just inheritances. This duty I shall fulfill.
I understand.
I am responsible under law for the awarding of the huge estate left by Mr. Marshall. I shall have to... Is your eye troubling you? You've been doing nothing but rubbing it since you came into this room.
Sorry, Mr. Marlowe. As you know, I'm blind in my right eye, and now and then my left eye feels quite strained, particularly at a time like this. My grandfather's death, the funeral. You understand?
Yes. Yes, of course.
You were saying?
What? Oh, well, it's not important at the moment. I'll be here tomorrow at 3 for the reading of the will.
I'll see to it that all the servants are here.
Very well. Good night, Joan. Paul?
Good night, Mr. Marlowe.
Good night. No, I didn't get to sleep that night. I just tossed and turned, trying to come up with an angle that would kill Marlowe's suspicions. Maybe that business of rubbing my eyes had satisfied him, but I had to make sure. It was the difference between being handed a fortune and a prison sentence. This afternoon at 3 o'clock, the servants, Joan, Marlowe, and myself gathered in the library. The whole thing was over in an hour. The servants all congratulated me and left the library, leaving only the 3 of us there.
I should like to offer a toast to Mr. Marshall's memory, if you'll permit me.
Of course.
This was his favorite sherry. Joan?
Thank you.
Paul?
Thanks.
Here's to Peter Marshall, a man who lived honorably, died honorably. May his heir be worthy of him.
As the 3 of us raised our glasses to our lips and drank, I could see Marlowe watching me over the brim of his glass with those cold blue eyes of his. We set down our glasses, and I turned to give Joan a cigarette. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Marlowe pick up one of the 3 wine glasses. Suddenly, I realized it was my glass he picked up. He held it casually, almost as if he didn't know he was holding it. In that moment, I was going nuts, trying to guess whether he was satisfied that I was Paul Harris or he was still suspicious and going after me. My fingerprints were on that glass, and the Army had a copy of those prints in Washington. This was it. Either I play my cards and go for the fortune, or throw in my hand. Suddenly, I felt Joan's hand in mine. Say, Mr. Marlowe.
Yes?
You say this will, leaving me my grandfather's estate, is a new one.
Yes. I drew it up only 2 weeks ago.
What was the old will like?
Well, under the old will, your grandfather's estate went to charity.
I thought as much. Mr. Marlowe, Joan and I have been talking things over. I don't want the estate. I want it all to go to charity, as originally intended.
Me, I seem to have dropped my glass. You realize, of course, what you would be giving up.
I never really had it, Mr. Marlowe, so I hardly think I'll miss it. Joan and I'll get along, won't we, baby?
Oh, yes.
Well, Paul, is that your considered decision?
It is.
It's a gesture worthy of Peter Marshall's grandson.
Yes, and that little gesture did it. Any guy who gives up a $2 million estate can hardly be called an imposter, can he? No, sir. It's Christmas, and I've just played Santa Claus to the tune of $2 million. The thing I keep wondering about is, what would have happened if I hadn't given up the estate? Would Marlowe have gone after me? Or was he satisfied that I was Paul Harris? Yes, sir. That little puzzle is going to give me plenty of thought for a long time to come.
This is the mysterious traveler again. Did you enjoy our trip? Or what happened to Paul Harris? Or rather, I should say, Steve Farrell? He and Joan were married. Oh, you'll have to get off here. I'm sorry. But remember, I take this same train every week at this same time.